All right. Welcome, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. This is the Leader Development Community of Interest Special Holiday Edition. So as you all know, we're still in the middle of this global pandemic. I was hoping last year would be the last time I'd have to say that, but here we are again. And as the COI was reflecting over the past few years, even though it has come full of its challenges, there has also been a lot of blessings, a lot of gifts, and particularly around our community of interest and our members and SAME. So we wanted to take today to highlight 12 of those gifts in the spirit of, the 12 Days of Christmas holiday song. But this is the 12 Days of Christmas SAME Foundation edition. So for those of you who may not be familiar with the SAME Foundation, their sole purpose is to foster engineering leadership for the nation. So our community of interest, the Leader Development Program, and the society as a whole have a piece in that role and mission of the SAME Foundation. And the Leader Development Program, as most of you know, is underwritten by the foundation. So this is kind of our way to be grateful for the SAME Foundation as well. So let's kick it off because we have 12 days to get through with the first day of Christmas the SAME Foundation gave to me. I think we're going to go to Mr. Christmas Tree there, Roland.
So I'm going to move this over so that we can, in fact, record this, all of our various costumes and things like that. And then I'm going to take this back off of the presentation screen.
Right. Oh, wait, I need the presentation screen. All right.
Yes.
All right, there we go.
So I think we have to sing it, right? On the first day.
Oh, no.
Go for it, Zach. Yes.
The Leader Development.
The Leader Development Program.
All right, I like it.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Roland de Guzman. For those of you whom I haven't met, I'm the Vice Chair of the Leader Development Program. And the first day of Christmas, we wanted to talk about the overall Leader Development Program and the fact that it's underwritten by the SAME Foundation. And so they literally did give the Leader Development Program to us and to the whole society. But really, the development program is just one thing that SAME does, but we like to think that we've lit a spark, or we've provided a spark that's really spreading across the society and making people talk about leadership and leader development in new ways. But we go back to the strategic plan, and two of the things that we do are two of the things that are right there in that plan. We're developing leaders to address the nation's grand challenges, and we're ensuring the enduring stewardship of the AEC profession. So by running 20 people or so through there it is, Patrick's showing off the 2025 plan. But by rolling through each of these classes, we're really spreading the idea of leader development around the entire society. So that's what SAME gave to us on the first day of Christmas.
Thanks, Roland. All right, on the second day of Christmas, Sean, and you have to sing it.
I might have to pass on that for right now, but thank you.
I tried, guys.
The second day of Christmas, I co-authored an article last year with Admiral Vanderlei, who was my mentor for the inaugural LDP class. And we looked at energy project solving resiliency and reliability gaps. So we reviewed existing energy cost reduction programs. We looked into energy security and resiliency improvements, identified gaps in areas of growth for resilient infrastructure, And then it was an opportunity to coordinate both between DoD and with private industry. We ended up publishing an article in March of the March-April edition of the year 2020. So one of the areas that we looked at, that we researched and evaluated further, was the ESPC at Guantanamo Bay, where the installation had previously been completely dependent on diesel fuel that was brought in by ships. And through the ESPC, they put in photovoltaic systems, installed high energy efficient boilers and other means that lowered their demand on the limit that they had, duration that they were able to go between shipments in the event that there was a shortage, and improving resiliency. And while that was a very large scale look at it, this was also coming out around the same time as the COVID and the ACF hospital installations that were being built up around the country. And it made us start looking at some of the opportunities or possibilities for, while maybe not putting a generator in every hotel or that may be used for a hospital type scenario, maybe start building in some of that initial infrastructure where you could connect in a generator where you would have had that option to before, or start looking at those different types of opportunities where the additional cost was relatively minimal in the grand scheme of things, but would provide flexibility further on down the road. So kind of in a 2-minute summary, that was what we looked at, and for your second day of Christmas.
Thanks, Sean. For those of you who didn't catch that article in TME, you can go back online and search for it. It's that second bullet there on the screen. But thank you, Sean. Great project. Great gift to SAME. Okay, moving on to the third day of Christmas.
On the third day of Christmas,
the SAME Foundation gave to me
an
Summer.
LDCOI communication strategy.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you. And it's not just a leader development COI communication strategy, it's a communication toolkit for all COIs. And we've identified that marketing is not really the easiest position to fill on COIs for most COIs. So trying to make that a little bit easier for volunteers to market COIs more successfully and consistently. We want to make sure that members know how to get information from COIs, provide our members with additional value, and put some tools in place to ensure smooth transitions between leadership transitions, like when you hand off to the next group of leaders coming in. And you want to go to the next slide, please. This is just an example of what it includes. We've got some content examples, best practices, a content calendar, and partner organization resources. And this is a tool that we're planning to make available for all COIs and, posts too, because this is a tool that can be adapted to be used at the post level as well. And we're gonna figure out the best way to introduce it and to make sure that everyone knows how to find it, knows how to use it, and hopefully it will make marketing a little bit easier for COIs.
Thanks, Summer. For those of you who aren't aware, part of that was generating a leader development community of interest page on LinkedIn. So if you are not already following that page, I just popped the link into the chat, and you can go there and follow the LDCOI that Summer's put together as part of that communication strategy. So thanks, Summer. Okay, Zach, you're
On the fourth
go for
day
it.
Christmas, the SME Foundation gave to me an LDP effectiveness measures strategy. My name's Zach Payne. I was part of the inaugural class, and since then I've went on to be part of the LDCOI. So I'm the one that came up with this really obnoxious slide deck in the spirit of Christmas. So you're welcome for that. So my project was focused on how do we, especially feedback to the foundation, but as well as the society writ large, like how do we demonstrate that there's a return on investment for the LDP program? So I worked closely with Colonel Huggaboom to kind of look at different metrics we could use to assess the long-term viability and success of the program. And so one of our 6th day of Christmas is a prime example of that. An individual, a member in the society that went through the program and is now in a national, elected national position. And so through the process, we did some surveys, started gathering the information. So everyone that's gone through since then, there's a pre-course, a post-course survey, and there's some follow-up throughout the year or on the anniversary. And we really want to track progress and performance of members that have went through the program to see that they are assuming bigger, better responsibilities both within their organization. So they're giving a return on investment to the employers who supported them doing the program, but they're also a return on investment to the society by assuming leadership roles at the post, region, or national level. That was my gift.
It's worth mentioning that so the SAME Foundation, I said it at the beginning, has funds the Leader Development Program, and you didn't have to convince the foundation of the impact that the Leader Development Program is having for the students who roll through it and for the society as a whole. But Zach's and Colonel Huggaboom's work is really it's really going to help the foundation clearly articulate the impact as they go out and raise money and talk to sustaining member firms to convince firms to get their employees to apply for the program. And so it really creates data and a compelling story of the return on investment. And since we talk about impact all the time in SAME, there's a link that I put in the chat that actually will talk about, it'll take you to all of these projects, but also gives you a glimpse of what the LDP is doing for the society.
Thanks, Zach, and thanks, Roland. All right, on the 5th day of Christmas, the SAME Foundation gave to me, Roland.
An exemplar program. Okay, so this project was one of the projects from our inaugural class. Air Force Captain Blake Hagee did this program, and you can't have a slide presentation without a famous dead guy quote. So ours today is brought to you by Mark Twain. History never repeats itself, but it does often rhyme. And really, the thrust of Blake's project is that our society has a whole rich history, and since it was the inaugural class, it was deeply tied into the centennial celebration of SAME. We turned 100 years old as a society, and so it really became important to provide a structure and a program to pay tribute, pay homage to the accomplishments and contributions of leaders in the society and leaders across the AEC industry in a sustainable, recurring way. And so this exemplar program is actually modeled, it's modeled off of what they do at the U.S. Air Force Academy, in that the idea for this program is that each of the LDP classes selects a leader from the past that they all agree on, that they all want to emulate, who has certain characteristics or accomplishments that class really values. And so a few people in the class, the idea would be they would put together a package to get the SAME national leadership to approve that their selection as an SAME exemplar. So it's a really great way to pay tribute to our leaders of our past. One of the criteria is that the exemplars have to be deceased. That makes things a little bit simpler in terms of selecting people, but it's a great way to honor our history. So Blake is continuing to work on it, and so we'll put this in front of LDP classes as they come up. We're picking the new class now, and we're hoping that we can build this into a sustaining, recurring thing with each class.
What a great way to honor folks. Thanks, Roland. Okay, on the 6th day of Christmas, the SAME Foundation gave to me Craig.
What a gift.
I'm not sure what happened to the screen there. Or I turn my camera on. Yeah, not in the festive party attire. Unfortunately, my employer has opinions on that matter. So when Zach asked me to talk, he said you can either talk about your project or you can talk about what you've done for SAME since the LDP. And I would think that the majority of folks are more interested in what I've done for SAME since the LDP, which is kind of the more entertaining story. So really and truly, I think at SBC, I talked to some folks, and a couple of folks talked to me about, hey, should I apply to the LDP? And my answer was unconditionally yes, but just be aware it might be like strapping yourself to the backside of a rocket, because I went from being a fairly unknown guy who was down at Fort Hood, Texas, just trying to do some good things and help some captains out, to, as Zach said, now here just 2.5, 3 years later, being on the national board and fixing to assume my second post-presidency here in Tulsa next month. So certainly there's nobody who would know who Craig is, which is kind of the way I prefer my life to be. I prefer and enjoy anonymity. It's where I'm really in my sweet spot. But that's not been the life that's been chosen for me since I did the LDP, which is okay. So actually the inset there is from my first public speaking engagement that I ever did. So Charlie Hart, my LDP mentor, decided that I needed to learn how to speak publicly. So this summer, after being put on the national board, he had me come down and talk about the LDP for the Fort Worth Post. I say come down, I actually did it virtually. And I just kind of built that little thing there to kind of show my timeline of where I had grown. And then I told Zach, I said, I'm going to grab a couple of photos. So one there I found, actually, I didn't have to look too far. My boss keeps it in his office there. That's a snap of the TME article from where I was selected for the national board, along with the rest of the folks. I think Colonel Hogeboom is out on the line, so he's on there as well. He and I were just on the phone a bit ago. And then the last two are kind of the next contributions that I hope to leave with the society and with the COI going forward. So I recently, I hope I'm not getting too far ahead of the skis here. I recently stepped up and told Angie Martinez that I would take over the book program from her, which is only ironic because those who are around for the original leader development program know that Craig Bryant was not a reader. So I put up there Good to Great, which ask someone else that story. I'm tired of telling it, but it's out there. And you're right, Zach, Army guys, we don't read. That's what makes us great. And then the second book I put up there is Extreme Ownership, which is the book that I'm leading for this year's LDP. Great book, and there's some things about that I'll keep some of those to myself because we're not going to tell the class for a little while. But so those are kind of the two books that I've led for the LDP to come back and contribute back to the LDP as I've moved along, graduating and then taking over that program from Angie, hopefully to continue the greatness of the program there and continue to find good content to deliver for the students and for the leader development program. And Angie, I heard last night that you met my first company commander. So I hope that you were properly intoxicated and don't remember anything that he shared with you. So I get this great photo of a couple of SAME friends, and there's Ben Marnell's mug right in the middle of it. So I've been giving him crap all day. So SAME is a small world.
It was a very small world moment. So, and he had nothing but great things to say.
Yeah, that's probably a lie. But that's kind of when Zach asked me to talk, that's what I figured I would talk about, is kind of what I've tried to do to give back since the LDP. I do feel that that burden the society's invested in me and contributed to me. I feel the burden to try to come back and contribute to folks and contribute to society and try to help out and make things just a little bit better for the next people.
Thanks, Craig. You know, Roland typed it in there. Craig is the gift that keeps on giving. So thank you very much. And Angie did a wonderful job as book lead for many, many, many years. But I think we're all really excited about the enthusiasm that you bring and what you're going to do with it into the future. We've tossed around some of your great ideas already. So thanks, Craig. Okay, the 7th day of Christmas, the SAME Foundation gave to me. Jorge, are you on?
I am on. Yes.
Hey, yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. STEM curriculum. So, you know, as part of our project, you know, I would definitely want to give thanks to Angela and Mark, you know, that were part of my project team or our project team for the inaugural class. So kind of, you know, the idea of STEM specifically for me was, you know, trying to start up a new, like a weekend program that unfortunately happened one year at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center at 29 Palms. But, you know, kind of through that process was trying to find curriculum to, you know, use at that event and kind of seeing how the curriculum that the different camps were using, you know, throughout SAME was kind of scattered. You know, some of it was built into folks' minds and others were written down very well. So our kind of goal was to review all that, try to extract that curriculum into ways that, you know, could be useful for all the SAME posts and chapters that they, you know, could reach out and look at them and find a way to categorize those. So, you know, if someone's looking for a piece of curriculum that maybe is a half a day or a day long or something, they could use that and they could easily search that and find that. So, you know, our goal was to ultimately to have this, you know, be something that could be published online, easily searchable. I know we didn't get to that ultimate goal, and I think my hope is that I can get more involved, you know, with the STEM group and provide that. I think locally, I'm trying to get more involved. I'm looking forward to being our post president in Orange County, starting in July of 2022. So, and hoping to, you know, some of the things that are near and dear to me are STEM, maybe just from having a 3rd and 4th grader and trying to get them encouraged in STEM, even though they probably see that as the least thing with having 2 engineering parents. They want to be very creative and artistic. So, but wherever I can introduce that, not only, you know, locally here to, you know, our kind of low-income areas in our area, that's kind of the passion I want to have and be able to bring and you know, spread our SAME, you know, STEM, you know, kind of pillar to the folks around here. So I appreciate everything, you know, the LDP did for me. I you know, enjoyed the program. I learned a lot about myself, and, you know, I'm hoping I can still continue to, you know, take this project and make it definitely more useful for the rest of the posts and SAME. So.
Awesome, and congratulations on incoming post president.
Thank you.
I've seen what you do down there locally, and I've seen your passion, and I've been in some of those meetings where you're running around doing, I don't know, it seems like everything. So I'm glad you're going to get to flex your leadership skills as post president. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, and then going along the same lines as Jorge and Angela's project with the STEM curriculum, on the 8th day of Christmas, the SAME Foundation gave to me a STEM camp app. This was Erin and Claudia's project. Neither one of them could join us today, but they researched apps and made recommendations to SAME and moved forward with putting in place a STEM camp app. So what did this do for SAME? We have a lot of STEM camps, if you guys don't know, all the different service areas. And by just getting one app and kind of the streamlined curriculum that Jorge was talking about, it took each individual program, which had some similarities in communication across lines, but a lot of them, did things kind of on their own. But it gave the app and the streamlining of the program definitely made everything more of a programmatic approach to how SAME does our construction camps. So that's good for a lot of reasons. Lots of lessons learned from different camps getting shared, different curriculums getting shared, but also from just having this mobile application. The goals were to improve our camp experience. So you can see down there, the very bottom of the page, like one of the notifications that leaders could pop out, could push out to your phones if there's, a message they need to get out, or if there's been a last minute change in location for an activity, or, these camps are on active bases, should the base have anything, happen, just to be able to communicate from a safety standpoint. It also helps to increase just some visibility within our SAME STEM camps and getting the good word out as to what campers are doing. It links to social media, specifically Twitter and Instagram, with some hashtag capabilities for searching and those types of things. So it's a pretty cool app that we've used. I think we used in our Marine Corps camp right before COVID. And then unfortunately, due to COVID, we haven't been able to use it to the extent at which we hope to here soon post-COVID. The other thing is, as a parent, this app also allows some communication with parents. Because you send your kid off and they're on an active base and you're wondering what they're doing. This is a really easy way for camp directors and leaders within SAME to push a photo of, say, the activity that the kids did today, or for parents to communicate with camp directors if anything should come up. So it definitely improves connectivity and safety. Okay, next slide.
Yeah, once you dig into creating an app like that, you run into a lot of things in terms of safety and security, and how do you share photos, but how do you make sure that they're shared properly? And it wound up becoming really tricky, a really tricky thing. But it's great that we have that. Yeah,
definitely. Okay. On the 9th day of Christmas, the SAME Foundation gave to me
an American Indian Alaska Native COI, and that wasn't the originally wasn't really the original intent. I think it's great that it happened. My group, Kevin and Colleen, can't be here today, but when we got together with the LDP, we really wanted to come up with a project that we felt very strongly about, and STEM outreach to the American Indian Alaska Native populations was a big deal for us. And the vision is just to find a way that SAME can interact in the future with American Indian Alaska Native youth in the STEM field. And this project really has morphed into way more than we originally planned. When we were going through the project, we found that we probably bit off too much based on original plans. But thankfully, with everybody on this call and SAME leadership and Eddie Gonzalez and everybody else, it's blossomed into the COI. So if you look at the timeline, we were in LDP, the second class, 2020 to 2021. At the end of our class, Eddie approached us and wanted to apply for a United Engineering Foundation grant, which we were awarded. Janine, I believe you were on the call. I just want to say thank you for all your guidance and help on getting that grant submitted. For context, this is the first United Engineering Foundation grant that SAME has received. So we're hoping to take those funds and apply what we learned in our project in the real world. And that's the whole process moving forward in 2022, is taking what we learned and applying it. And there's a couple different directions and posts, and we're all gonna have a little bit different opportunity to learn what works and what doesn't work. And hopefully at the end, we can put together ideas and just start building that base foundation for others to reach out in the future. Pretty exciting. I think we bit off too much at the beginning. We toned it down and then it blossomed and it's going big again. I just want to say thank you to everybody helping out. I was going to make a list of all the individuals that have provided input, but I got nervous I would miss someone. So let's just say thank you to everybody on all the guidance and help. That's all I got. Oh, then I apologize, in the slides, there is a link to the grant website and it has a lot more information on this project.
It's so cool, Thomas. Yeah, as others have put in there, Craig says this project is raising the bar for contributions for all future projects. Zach says amazing, very cool, tough act to follow. Agreed. You guys are making a huge impact, bringing STEM capabilities, onto Native American reservations and the future of those kids and those communities. So well done. All right. On the 10th day of Christmas, Arpin, you better sing it.
Yes, the SME Foundation gave to me a STEM Guided Pathways program. So thanks for having me on, Zach. I appreciate you reaching out and trying to get some more advocacy for this type of project. But obviously, this has been a massive team effort, and Janine has helped bring in some corporate knowledge regarding her background with the STEM education and outreach. But ultimately, all the COIs, we had great participation at SBC between young professionals, the enlisted COI, the K through 12, the camps, and altogether it's creating a more formalized pathway for student members or student participants with SAME programs and events to kind of facilitate that transition as they grow and learn, to see all the other unique SAME events and opportunities and COIs that are out there, to ultimately guide them through the college phase and then back into the young professional COI. So it's a STEM pipeline in a sense that SME helps facilitate, to show we have posts and local level resources and mentors. We can facilitate them to, national level camps or organizations, even with industry partners in terms of internships or job opportunities, and then facilitate them back into the young professional COI, into roles or leadership development, positions within the society. Ultimately, returning that value to SAME and making sure that we have future Craig Bryants or Rees and everyone like that to help give back to the society. So I think I'm at my time, but thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Cool project. Okay. On the 11th day of Christmas.
All right, the SAME Foundation gave to me a virtual JETC presentation. Sorry, I'm not going to sing it just like everyone else. Better for everyone that way. That's my gift back to the foundation. So no, this was a really cool opportunity. As a part of my LDP project, throughout the LDP process, I actually was promoted into a leadership position within my company. And so for me, it was a really, the foundation really did give me a gift in having the LDP and having the opportunities to use what I've learned and use what we're learning at LDP and apply it in the real world. And so as I was trying to figure out what to do for my project, and talking with Eddie and all the stresses I had with that, he said, well, that sounds like a project to me. And so the struggles and the things that I was facing kind of turned into this virtual JETC presentation where we could identify the common experiences that take place as someone transitions to leadership, especially someone young in their career. Compare and contrast the different leadership between military, government, and industry, because there are differences there and how that works. And then kind of prepare the audience to expect the unexpected, and kind of a lot of the things that you don't expect when you become a leader that no one really talks about. It's like you kind of become a leader, that means you've made it, but there's a lot of learning on the job and on the fly and a lot of mistakes and a lot of stresses. And so kind of talking about those things. And then finally, we included one of our great LDP guests, Ted Studdard. He was on the panel as well. And so this presentation turned into it was a panel of myself and then three of my LDP classmates. So it was a really great experience. It was something that really got to promote the LDP program and really hopefully help inspire others to take on leadership roles and to hopefully expect the unexpected.
Thanks, Vincent. There's a link online too to that panel presentation. I'll try to Google it real quick and pop it in the chat.
Carolyn, I was going to say an additional gift that the LDP and the foundation have produced is the leadership track that was at JATC, in which this was submitted, and the COI had the opportunity to review all those abstracts and bring that into JATC last year and going forward. So that was an extra gift, another gift that keeps on giving.
It is. Yep. Good point, Zach. Thanks. Thanks, Vincent. Okay, and on the 12th day of Christmas, I know she's going to sing it.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
Because Tiny Tim does everything. On the 12th day of Christmas, the SAE Foundation gave to me a scholarship recipient mentor program. Pete, Bruce, and I from Baltimore, Guam, Phoenix, respectively, we got together and put together this mentoring toolkit. So we realized that there are many posts that don't, we have mentoring programs across the country, but not necessarily anything that's standardized. And once we started digging into this more, so lack of engagement, right? So I'm sorry, I'm reading my own notes that I actually gave you guys to put on the slides. I should read them. It's just that there wasn't anything standardized. So not only were we not tracking things, we'll get to that in just a second, there wasn't enough outreach being done with our mentors. Next slide, please. I mean, our scholarship recipients, and that's what this is specifically for. So what we realize is that with our research that there are 80 posts out there with programs with over 800 scholarship recipients, and the society has given out over $1 million. Next slide, but we can't track it. Next slide. 26% of our, basically there's a gap. So only 26% of our posts have a standardized mentoring program. Next slide. So what that means is, like I said in the beginning, we're not tracking. We don't know where our dollars are going. We're investing in these people and these students, but we don't know, are they giving back to, are they working in the AEC industry? Are they involved in SAME? So the toolkit, it's a lot to chew, right? A lot for someone to just bite off, especially if you're one person trying to affect change. So the toolkit can be standardized per post, large post, small post, and it will help a post to develop a specific mentoring program. Again, this is for scholarships, scholarship recipients, that not just post level, but also that regionally, that the regionally can support us, and also national can better measure where the dollars are going. So next year, 2022, the three of us are going to implement this within our posts. We have not done that yet because we've been drinking out of a fire hose since LDP. So, but we will be the first case study to implement this. And our hope is that the next LDP class will pick up the toolkit and continue to build on it.
Very cool, Ree. I don't know if you saw in the chat, Roland and the Philly Post, they're starting to think about how to engage with their scholarship recipients and using that toolkit for their post. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you to the foundation for the opportunity to be a part of this program.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Roland just got really big with that Christmas
tree. It's amazing.
It is amazing. So guys, that was just 12 little snapshots of the, I don't know how many infinite millions of things that, the SAME, LD, COI, and LDP have given to society and its members. So at this time, I'm gonna just open it up. We can have a little, chat, a little holiday cheer if anybody wants to say anything. If you are dressed festively, feel free to turn your camera on so we can see it.
That's awesome. I don't have anything.
I stole my husband's sweater for today. Roland, you win. I wish we had prizes.
That is awesome.
Jorge, what side?
We didn't do prizes because last year I never sent them out. So it's kind of dumb to have prizes and then have the person in charge of the prizes not get them to the winners. That would be me.
That's okay, Angie. So Jorge's got on his, what was that, Broncos?
If I had only known.
Yeah, it's a Broncos one, and then I have, of course, I've got that too. So
nice. Go ahead, Francis.
If I had known that this was ugly Christmas sweater party, I would have won, and you know that.
I've seen it. Yes. Well, when you first came in, I don't know if you could hear me or not, but I specifically pointed you out and asked you to turn your camera on, hoping you would have it on, but no.
I'm at my parents' house, or I'd go grab it.
Okay.
It's 100% inappropriate for a professional setting.
I'm going to stop the recording just because for people may not want to.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. Yeah.
But we can continue chit-chatting.